All right, I'm going to try and keep this brief and not repeat information that you have no doubt heard many times the last couple of weeks. If you somehow have not heard the terms FTC, COPPA, 4Kids, or the mention of a $42,000 fine in the last couple of weeks, look it up. Just go to YouTube, type in COPPA. You will find tons of videos talking about the subject because it is a pretty dang big deal. That being said, if you don't want to look it up, I will quickly go over what all of this is, paraphrasing, of course. Essentially, there is a law that prevents the information of anyone under the age of 13 from being tracked online, protects kids' privacy. Totally cool with that. But this also includes stuff like cookies. So on websites, such as YouTube, which collect our information and feed it to advertisers to give us personalized ads, advertisements that appeal to us specifically, yeah, that's no good. But that also makes up about 90% of our revenue. So, because YouTube has gone on record to say, look how many kids use our site, even though it says you have to be 13 years or older to make an account, the government's getting involved because they know tons of kids use this site anyway, and they're having their info tracked. Whether it's legal or not, it's happening, so they have to step in. As of January 1st, they're going to make all of us mark our content as either for kids or not for kids. There is no in between. You just have to be transparent about it. Do you make content that is clearly geared for kids, or do you not? But if you mark a video as for kids, it's basically dead. You can't comment on it. It can't be searched, which I thought was very harsh, unnecessarily. It can't be recommended, so it will never show up in your feed or on the front page or whatever. Most importantly, it will not have those targeted ads on it. So it's making practically no money, or, a tenth of what it used to. And that was always kind of counterproductive in my mind, and is a big source of like a loophole that many people have pointed out. By placing such a restriction on children's content on here, it's going to disappear because, one, people aren't getting paid to make it, so less people are going to want to do it. And also, how are kids going to find it? If you're really all about protecting kids' privacy and information via the advertisements or whatever, you're reducing the amount of videos that they can even find that won't have those ads on it. By hiding, pretty much, they're hiding all of this kids' content on YouTube. What's going to show up in the recommendeds then? Content that is not for kids, because that's the only type of content that can be recommended? And guess what's on those videos? Ads. The targeted ads. They're gonna watch content that's not for their age. Kids watch stuff they shouldn't all the time. You can watch whatever the heck you want on this site. So their information's being tracked anyway. What was the point of... That blows my mind whenever I think about that. So you mark your video for kids, that's what happens. The rest of us probably thinking, mark your video is not for kids. And that seems like the logical step, but it comes with a risk. If you mark your video as not for kids, and some guy over at the FTC manually reviews it and says, nope, this is for kids, you lied. Pay us $42,000, upwards to $42,350, I think is the exact amount. So I'm not sure what our amount, like for a regular person would be, but that's like the max you can get fined per video. Because obviously that would bankrupt everyone. You take a fraction of my videos with that amount and fine me that, and it's like I'm forever in debt. I could never pay that off. That's insane. So there has to be some kind of wiggle room that they're just not telling us. So because we had that big scare, the big question was, well, what qualifies as kids' content then? And they released some guidelines that more than confused us because they were so vague and broad, and it said stuff like if your video is colorful or it has fast-moving objects. You mean like a car? If it has cartoon characters or games that may appeal to children, those were the two big ones, because now animation and gaming channels are scared out of their minds. I was scared for a minute. Like, obviously I don't make kids exclusively for children, but I was worried, like, Realm of the Mad God is popular with kids who play it in the computer lab at school. Like, is that a problem? I have old Minecraft and Yu-Gi-Oh videos that are technically unboxings. Like, are those gonna get hit? Am I in trouble? Like, I don't want to get fined. Like, I feel like it would be nice if they could incorporate some kind of a warning system. Like, before January 1st hits, They mark all the videos that they deem as problematic, as for kids, whenever really you're marking them as not for kids. So change it or you're going to get fined. That way we would have a heads up before the big change and nobody would be freaking out. Or you could appeal and be like, no, you got it wrong. But no, they're just unleashing the fury. They're releasing the hounds all at once, and it's going to cause problems. I mean, to be fair, you know how many people are going to get hit with that fine day one? You think they're going to enforce that? You think they have the time, money, and manpower? You know how many videos there are on this site? It's a scare tactic, first and foremost. That's what laws are. You know, they scare you into following because they're extreme by nature. They have to be. They have to be concrete and draw a line somewhere. Unfortunately, this draws a line where we don't even know where it is. Now, the good news is that the FTC on their website did release a statement that says they acknowledge that just because children watch something does not mean that it is targeted for kids. And that statement alone, while still somewhat vague, it does allow me to rest a little bit easy because they're kind of leaving it up to us. They're saying, we'll leave it in your hands to know your audience. You know your audience best. Make the call. And I do know my audience. It is most people my age. I have always made content, and this is my defense. I've always made content for my peers. Maybe a couple years younger, a couple years older, the general age range. I've always made videos for that. And that's the majority of my audience. I think I'm in the clear. Aside from those older videos, I'm just going to mark my channel as not for kids. I would just mark it as whatever, PG or whatever, but it's not for kids. If they really want to make that strong distinction, all they have to do is be clear about it. Like if you make videos about toys or about, you put on a funny voice, you act like Steve from Blue's Clues. Like if they could just give us some really clear-cut examples on what a kid's channel is, then we'd be fine. Because I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about. They're talking about Wheels on the Bus 10-hour edition that's got 46 million views. Although I gotta say, I did find it insanely hypocritical how they make a big deal about marking a video as not for kids when they say it's for kids and fining you for that. But they haven't said a word, as far as I've read, about the other way around. If you mark a video as for kids, but it's not, it's like they won't even touch you. Like marking a video as for kids is safe. But isn't that worse? You're saying a video is for kids, like, hey kids, come watch this, and it's like totally adult content? That to me is full-on trickery. That's bad. But you want to know why they aren't worried about that? Because nobody's going to freaking see those videos. Because you can't search them, they don't get recommended, they don't make money, you can't comment, they're done. They're dust. They don't even exist. I mean, this could just be some elaborate ploy to get all the kids to move to kids' YouTube. In which case, why don't they just enforce that from the get-go? Like, to me, I don't know how deep the legal system goes for this. I don't know the inner workings. I'm not a lawyer. It's not my field. But in my perfect world, in my head, why don't they just have a prompt? If you log on to this website anonymously, and you don't have an account, then every time you log on, it should prompt you and say, please confirm that you are 13 years of age or older. If you confirm, then you are consenting to the use of advertisements and cookies and your information being shared with our business associates or whatever, however they word it. And if you are lying and if you're under the age, then you are in violation of the terms of service, and it is on you. We are not held accountable. Wouldn't that cover all the bases? Wouldn't that just kind of solve that problem right there? I mean, yeah, kids would still watch the site, but like, eventually it's just an infringement on our freedoms. Like you just can't push it that far. All you can do is set the rule and encourage us to follow it. And I understand what they're doing. They're trying to hit the content at the source. They know that people are going to cheat. They know that kids are going to go through hoops to see their content anyway. So they're just like, all right, we'll hit the content directly. That way it'll solve the problem, right? But as we've discussed, and many others have, it comes with its own share of problems and repercussions. So, yeah. Well, those are my thoughts on that. I didn't mean for it to go on this long, but I mean, it's kind of a hearty topic, so I guess it was inevitable. But I really just wanted to let you know what my stance was on it and what I plan to do with my channel. Thankfully, I don't think I'm going anywhere. I think I'm okay. I'm going to mark my channel as not for kids and then go like to the old stuff and maybe mark that as for kids, private it, and just mark it just to be safe. But it shouldn't affect what I do. Because again, as I said, I've always made content for my peers, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. I don't pander to an audience. I make videos for people like me. So that's all there is to it. Hope this works. Hope YouTube doesn't self-destruct. That'd be real sad. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Probably. We'll see. It's a very strong probably. All right. See ya.